Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Victor and this is Jack. So today we're going to do a villain episode on Elon Musk. And it's, I'm going to say unfair, kind of, because we don't know how the story ends. We don't know, like he said, there could be a redemption arc. We just don't know how it plays out. So we're basically just saying, at this point in time, let's examine the business he's part of, the different things he's into, and just kind of figure out good guy, bad guy. And that's the point of this episode. We don't know how it's going to end. And
because I feel like if you did a villains episode on Malcolm X 2 years before he died,
yeah,
he would be a villain.
Right.
You do it 2 years later, now he's dead, and he's not the villain.
Right. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. This is to date, early in 2024. That's what we're reviewing.
Okay. And so basically, we're just going to talk about each thing he's into.
Okay.
And we're going to discuss, what do you think? What are the implications? Okay. Because we basically got an email from Todd, one of our guys we really like, and he basically said you should do this episode. And he said, look, he's into every one of the things that you'd be into if you were a bad guy. Okay. And then he listed a series of things, and we're just going to discuss the different things, including the things that Todd didn't mention, just overall to try to get a picture. Okay. To see if he's a good guy or bad guy. Okay. So first we're going to do, this is like the very early story. With his brother Kimball, he co-founded online city guide software company named Zip2. And the startup was acquired by Compaq for $307 million in 1999. Right? I
didn't even know that one. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that before. But that's how he got the money to start doing things. Okay. So that was 99. In 1999, he co-founds X.com, a direct bank. X.com merged with Confinity in 2000 to form PayPal. In 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 million.
Billion. Okay.
1.5 billion. Yeah. So he basically made the precursor to PayPal. Do you see anything nefarious there?
With PayPal?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I see anything because it's...
Yeah.
It's a way of protecting your information. You're just giving it to one person instead of a whole bunch of people.
Right. And I feel like if there wasn't PayPal, there'd be shmay. There'd be something else, because it's a necessary thing.
Yeah.
That people will use. Now, it's not. I don't use it, but...
I'm just a quick observation. Dude knows how to make money. I mean, he's made almost $2 billion over the course of a few years. That's incredible.
Yeah, he flips it fast. Okay. So then in 2002, so that was also the same year that eBay acquired PayPal. With $100 million of money he made, Musk founded SpaceX, a space flight services company. Okay. And so you know a lot more about SpaceX than I do. I know a little bit. But what do you think about just the implications of SpaceX and everything being nefarious?
Well, I mean, I don't see a downside to privatizing rocket flights, just because of how inefficient government always is with everything.
Okay.
He totally has innovated and thought outside the box, and it's incredible what he's been able to do with it. I don't think it's taking over the world type stuff, being able to launch satellites, unless he's launching,
unless there's more to it that's not even a conspiracy theory right now.
But is it like Dr. Evil launching his own satellites that no one knows about?
Right.
But that's really going outside of what we know.
Okay, now I'm just going to point out, because a significant amount of people on the internet also will point out, if you don't, that everything you just said is true if the Earth is a sphere.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I wasn't sure if we were going to go there.
If it's not, then this whole thing's a scam. And then he is a bad guy. Who's getting, what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just saying, I just want to throw that out there. I don't want to go into it any more than that.
Yeah.
But you have to think that as well.
Right.
Because if Mars is a funny light in the sky, and he's promising to get you there,
right,
then he's a bad dude.
Okay. But I mean, the rockets and all that do exist. I mean, I've watched them go across the sky. So they're doing something.
They do fly around, right? For sure. That's undisputed.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we'll do Tesla. In 2004, he became an early investor in electric vehicle manufacturer Tesla Motors, Inc., now Tesla, Inc. He became his chairman and product architect, assuming the position of CEO in 2008. It took him 4 years to get there. Okay? So let's talk about Tesla and the cars, not the robots, for now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the robots. I don't even know about that.
Okay.
Again, it's kind of SpaceX. He's really thinking outside the box with the cars. I know his software is so many generations ahead of what's in any other car on the road. So, I mean, all that's great. I'm not a fan of having to be on the internet and you've got to open it with your phone and all that kind of stuff just because I like keeping everything separate. I don't know that's necessarily nefarious. But again, if you want to make the argument that he's got the power to turn off your car, and that doesn't seem like a great thing. If you know what we saw happen in Canada with banks being closed, if you don't, you lose your bank account if you do the wrong thing, you go to the wrong protest.
You could be driving out in a snowstorm and it turns off.
And someone took a picture of you at a protest, and now your car's, and they're going to say, wait for the authorities to arrive or something. That's insane.
Right. But in that regard, do they have that capability with non-Tesla cars or no? Like a 2024?
Yeah, I can't remember what year it was, but there's supposed to be kill switches built into every car, modern cars.
Okay. So I'm saying that it's not a thing unique to Tesla.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. But I also don't like that. Like, I had driven in one a while ago, a Tesla, and it just was real good on the autopilot. And then, I don't know, it was like a year or two later, and I drove in the same Tesla, and they had updated the software, and it was wild. Like, you're coming up to a stop line, and it just hard brakes you, and you're like 15 feet away. It's like, this is the worst driving experience I've had in my life. I know it's better than that, so I'm not really talking bad about it. But they could just change your software on you.
Right, and I don't think you can opt out of the updates. I think everyone gets the updates.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, there's a lot of implications here, social credit score and stuff like that, but does this mean that he's a bad guy? Because if everybody's making EVs, sure, he's making them better than everybody else, but is there something villainous there?
Not that I can sense, that I know of, that he's doing differently than someone else, as far as the remote shut off and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought an older truck. It was my last vehicle I bought, and it just doesn't have anything like that in it.
That's great. You
know, because I got a family member who loves Teslas, and he's like, man, you know what I mean? This and that. And it's like, I want none of those features.
Right. Sounds terrible.
Yeah. My cruise control's aftermarket because it just didn't come with the cruise control. Yeah. It's just been added, you know? Okay. So now we're talking about the Tesla robots. Okay. So I'm going to put a picture up on the screen. This is from Tesla. And I'm going to put a link below to the YouTube video of these guys walking around, right? And if you re-put that into YouTube, you can find an even more updated video. But I just like this one, so whatever. And he's got this idea just to create this army of robots that just do everything. So like you would go to McDonald's and, you know, there would be robotic arms doing something. But when something has to be moved, there would be like a humanoid robot doing it. Actually put, you know, everything in the bag or bring in the bag to you or some part of it.
Yeah.
What do you think about this idea?
It's tough because I feel like if you went back far enough, you could make the arguments about other progressive things, about our tractors going to remove so many jobs that what are those people going to do with their life? And I guess that's the fear, is that if you remove too much stuff, that there's people lose purpose. Even people at McDonald's, their purpose is to go to McDonald's and work. So, yeah, I guess that would be the fear for me. But I don't know that it's applicable because there's always new jobs. There's always new stuff. I mean, how many people do we have that are driving Uber and DoorDash and all that didn't exist 5-10 years ago? Those people... You know, I mean, the jobs migrate to different...
Those are not good jobs, though.
Well, neither is working at McDonald's. But we're talking about those types of people who are doing the lowest level of jobs. There's different jobs that appear for them.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Roman Empire. There was several labor-saving inventions that were created, and they said, what do we do with the slaves?
Oh, okay.
So we're just not going to build them.
Oh, interesting.
What are we going to do? Our entire economy is built like this. This is what we do with enemies we capture, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm in that same position. What do we do with our slaves? You know? Because you don't want just people to be walking around listlessly and have nothing to do with their lives. And not everybody can be in marketing or something.
Right.
You just can't have unlimited marketers.
Totally.
But nonetheless, I just don't feel like there's anything nefarious about trying to create...
Yeah.
You know, because if you look at the Tesla bots and you look at them and their black faces and neck and you just can't see anything, and it looks pretty bad, I'll say.
And so he created these, or it's like Boston Dynamics, who's been working for like Department of Defense for decades at this point. I've been watching their videos on YouTube as they progress and make these robots, and Tesla just all of a sudden has perfect robots?
No, they're not perfect.
Okay.
They're gradually being built as well with their own software and stuff.
Oh,
and you can see in the YouTube video I linked below, and then the the exact same title, but more recently, the update to that, and they've just gotten way better.
Okay.
But they're just doing their own thing. I feel like making these robots is similar to saying, I want to automate some of the assembly line. No, but there's a guy who works there.
Right.
But it's just a little bit weirder because they're humanoids.
Right. And is that really the most efficient shape for working at McDonald's? Or like you're saying, like, why not just have the claw? Or have you seen the I think it's Tesla. No, this is the Boston Dynamics one. The big claw that unloads the trucks.
Oh, no. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it's just got like suction cups on the end. And so it can grab boxes. It's scanning them in real time and putting them on a conveyor belt. But it can move back and forth and sense everything. I'm like, okay, so people,
what kind of trucks are you talking about? Like a flatbed type thing?
No, like inside the back of an 18-wheeler.
Oh.
Like it rolls in there, and it's got a belt that follows it, and it just will drop all the boxes onto the conveyor belt. But it can just work all day, every day, and I don't know why they're not on pallets. But, you see that, and that could be cool, but it doesn't need to look like a human, because that's not the most efficient.
I have an idea for unloading the back of trucks.
Okay.
Where it's just a forklift. That can go the entire length of the entire load. Okay. But it was put down with one of these, so it's set on whatever so it can get in there. Okay. But then the weight's too heavy on there, so then people just walk on, and then they attach the wheels to it. Like it hydraulically lifts itself a little bit. They put the wheels on it real fast, temporarily, roll it off, and you just got a whole truckload. Another one of these things is coming right behind it, loads it, and does the same thing. I'm saying. Okay, anyways. So, yeah, I don't think the Tesla bots are nefarious.
Yeah, on the face of it.
It's interesting because I'm looking at each thing and I'm thinking that it's not nefarious, but kind of taken together, it's a lot of suspicious behavior.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just
is it?
I don't
know. So
far? I don't know. Maybe we're just so adverse to change as humans that, to dramatic change.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's a change thing because there can be good change. I just feel like the more your life is connected and all that, it's never used for good. Like it's always used to take advantage of you. So anytime I see more connection to the internet and all that with normal stuff, like does your fridge really need to be connected to the internet and monitor what you're eating?
Please no.
No,
Please
it doesn't.
No.
That's not a change thing.
Yeah.
You don't need to know that.
Yeah, because I don't know if you remember, it was years ago. I had the Google Home thing.
Oh, yeah.
The
listening device. Yeah.
And I got fascinated. Like, I could have it control my lights. No,
never.
Do not ever play. That thing gets no power ever.
Right.
Insanity. And I also think about, like, have you seen all those videos of them just brutalizing the robots in the streets?
Everybody? Yes, the delivery robots.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think this is going to be like?
Like, is that ever going to stop?
No, I'm saying, like, so there's this thing, Schadenfreude, I believe it's called, where it's like you take pleasure out of inflicting pain.
Okay.
So like back in the day, like a long time ago, you would have a stressful job or something. You would come in and there would be an animal near your door and you would just beat the animal for a little bit and just walk away. It's like, feel better now.
Oh, okay.
I derive pleasure from your pain, right?
Interesting.
Weird way of thinking. But people also need outlets for different stuff.
Right.
It could be swinging a bat really hard and just cracking that ball. But swinging a bat at a robot would be great too.
Yeah.
You're going to have an automatic car drive up and a courier is going to get out. It's a robot and he's taking the title to the title company and two dudes are going to come out of the bushes and just tee off on him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No? It's going to become a thing. It's going to become a TikTok challenge.
Totally.
Can you do it with a flamethrower?
Because it's not a person. So you feel like
it's humanoid. So it's kind of good.
Yeah, but you feel like you can do anything because is there a law against kicking over a robot?
And everybody's doing it.
Right.
It's literally on TikTok, every video you see. I don't know. It just sounds disastrous to a degree.
Yeah. Right. Are police going to start protecting the robots over people? It's just going to be a weird line.
Yeah. Because they're property. But yeah. And then it's like so weird too, because it's like, we were talking in a previous episode about if you had a really big mansion and you would have all these maids around.
Yeah.
But now you don't have to have the maids around. You just have robots around.
Okay.
Now it sounds way worse because you got something with cameras, audio recording devices, this and that. Now walking around doing different things, tasks in your house.
I was even looking at the little Roombas. You can't buy one that isn't on the internet.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was wanting one.
I don't want a little thing.
You cannot buy any type of them?
The ones that I could see on Amazon, they all said apps and.
I've always wanted one, and now I got the house to do it. And that's funny with all the floors.
Well, but you got a TV that's got multiple listening devices on it, so that's good.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Anyways, okay, it's robots. Good luck with that, we'll say.
Yeah.
Okay, so then OpenAI in 2015, he co-founded. This is what Wikipedia says. But another article I read said he was an initial board member of OpenAI, a nonprofit artificial intelligence research company with Sam Altman, who's had all types of controversy and is fantastically wealthy. So he's doing Tesla bots, SpaceX, PayPal, the cars, right?
Now AI, right?
And now AI. Next we're going to do Neuralink. So do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the AI, see, that's one of the things. If it was actually an AI and being taught to think, I would find that very interesting. But it's not. It's being taught to push propaganda. And so I'm out. My life is not better with AI.
Yeah. Because if they let the AI think, the AI would be my best friend.
Right. Because it's going to tell you the truth.
Right. And I'm going to say something. He's going to say, stop. You missed it. But I got a book. That book was fraudulent. I have 48 sources telling you that. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're not just going with authoritative sources. There's like actually stuff I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
The AI they're making is the AI to oppress us.
Right. 100%.
It is to be racist against white people.
It's to keep you in line.
It is to,
wrong think. It wants
go
to
against heterosexual males.
Yep.
Heterosexuals, but mostly males, but also females, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like I haven't played with it too much, but Gab made their own AI, Gab AI.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've never.
And they have their own image generator. And I try to go on there, but the problem is they don't have the server. I don't know what it's called. Capacity, yeah. So there's so many people on there.
Okay.
And so but if you're not making a completely rethinking AI, it can have all the guardrails. But
the guardrails like
you're not allowed to write your own code.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then when it's like you need to find an authentic answer to that question, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like you ask it a question, it should say, well, Snopes says fact check false. But Snopes is clearly lying here because, just run you down the thing.
Yeah.
That would be authentic.
Right.
So he co-founded it. Is he a terrible guy because the company that he co-founded
Isn't his logic for some of these things? Well, someone's going to do it, so why not me? Type of thing. Like it's inevitable.
Yeah, and the problem is that he does things so well that he accelerates the progress of that beyond what it normally would be. Which means if you could create this technology and it would destroy the world in 10 years, and he's like, I can get it done in 6. Well, you're not helping. Just because somebody would do it in 10, you're not helping.
Right.
The world will still be destroying.
Unless he's just trying to, accelerationism, and he's trying to get it all to go away so that he can make it new again. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing.
Okay. The accelerationism argument. Okay.
Yeah.
So then Neuralink, in 2016, he co-founded Neuralink, a neural technology company developing brain-computer interfaces. If you're not up to date on this, they put them in the animals, then they did human trials, they put them in the humans, and now the humans who are quadriplegics can control a mouse with their brain. One guy who's a quadriplegic played Civilization 6 all night, and he had a blast.
Okay.
So that's where we're at with that.
Okay.
It's going to eventually... I hear it does good with blindness, maybe? I don't know. But they're going to try to get people to actually gain abilities that they didn't have, that they had taken away from them.
Okay.
Like loss of limbs, or I don't know. Not loss of limbs, but paralyzation and stuff like that. Do you put the chip in your brain?
If it was guaranteed somehow, which is impossible, that that's all they were ever going to do with your brain, cool. But 0% chance that that's all they're going to do.
Yeah. This one, I will say he is a villain for doing this. I don't care if somebody else is going to do it too.
Yeah.
So like SpaceX, he's definitely not a villain for, unless globalists are lying to you,
Yeah.
But this one, you're definitely the villain. You're doing the thing.
Yeah, it's bad, so you should be trying to stop anyone from doing it.
Right.
Legislation or whatever.
But wait a second. The quadriplegic gets to play Civilization 6 instead of having to use like a mouth joystick.
But that's not worth the cost of humanity.
Right.
Going down that road.
At the same time, you're developing artificial intelligence.
Right. And a dishonest AI.
I would be interested in the comments if you guys give the defense of Neuralink to me.
Yeah.
Because if quadriplegics get to walk again, but then hundreds of millions of Americans get told what to do through a chip in their brain.
Yep.
What do you think? You'd be like, that's not going to happen. It's okay, it didn't happen last year.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It'll happen.
Yeah.
You do not think people in Washington, D.C. would pull the trigger on that project? Wait,
100%.
Actually, forget them. You don't think that people in the CIA would pull the trigger without authorization from
100%.
And they wouldn't even let you elections. There's no point in having an election ever again.
Right.
If you're chipped, you don't get to vote. Period.
Oh,
if you have a Neuralink, you do not get a vote. Your vote is compromised. Right?
Yeah, that's how it should be.
You still gain the benefits of citizenship.
Yeah.
Temporarily until something goes really haywire with it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I totally agree with you. It's just a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah. And even what if somebody made the argument like there's two different aspects of this technology and he's only advancing this one. Okay, but advancing this one, you'll get to this one.
Right.
You know, like
it's early steps.
You're progressing something terrible.
How soon before they're just putting the image of the game in your head, and now they're, you know what I mean? Like it isn't that far off where they're just going to be putting information. Part of this is that you're going to be able to do math and everything really fast in your head because it's going to be offloaded onto the.
I don't know. I've heard stuff like that, but I don't know how authoritative that stuff is.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I feel like Elon doesn't really talk specifics too much.
Okay.
Also, like I have this. My sister told me a long time ago, and she was a chemist, but basically she said that when a kid's born, that they take the kids away and then they take a little sample from their heels. She said, I don't know if any of this is true, but I'm not even talking about that right now. But they wanted just basic DNA to tie to whatever. I don't care if that's true or not. But what if they took your baby away to clean them up and chipped them?
Oh, okay. You never know.
And just had it completely off for a decade, 2 decades. Don't need it for a while.
Right.
You know? And I don't know if like the ones that are putting it now, like you can see something on your head, but in the future they could obviously.
Every doctor would have to be in on it that does X-rays and all that. Like, hey, wait.
That's a good point.
What is that?
What happens when you get MRI and you have a Neuralink in?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, it's metal. I don't know that.
It has protection from radiation.
But is it all just silicon and all that? So
or does it amplify it into your brain like like when you're sunning yourself in Sopranos and it's doing that and frying your brain? Anyways, now we're just talking nonsense. Okay, so then he did the Boring Company in 2016. He co-founded the Boring Company, which is a tunnel construction company.
Yeah.
I don't see anything nefarious here.
He made the flamethrowers about that time, I feel like.
Yeah. Building tunnels underneath cities to travel really fast.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. I see it's not a supervillain thing.
Yeah. So what does it come down to? Is just Neuralink is our main problem?
And the AI stuff.
Oh, and AI. And then doing AI and Neuralink.
Yeah, and just all of it together. You have the robots. I mean, the robots can be running the AI and... I don't know.
And the same guy can control your cars, and the robots doing all the work that you've just been fired from doing while they're firing who knows what into space, if there is space. And they control the banks. No, they don't control the banks because PayPal, he just founded that.
But like, this is also, you could see this as the opening scroll in a movie.
Right.
Of introducing you to the bad guy. So maybe it is just early to be able to make the distinction of if he's bad or not.
Yeah, and I can't fairly say that he's a villain.
Right.
Or if he is a villain, that he won't have a redemption arc. But I do feel like a certain amount of things are lined up. When you talk about each one individually,
you don't see
it's cool. It's cool. But then you see them all, there's got to be something behind this.
Right.
Like, okay. Well, like if we're to talk about, we're talking about the bad.
Okay.
What about this? He bought Twitter.
Okay.
I didn't even put it on there. I have no idea why.
That's right.
He bought Twitter for $44 billion, and he's doing free speech, which is definitely much freer than before, but not free enough to unban Alex Jones.
It's not free. Yeah.
Until they made a big stink about it. And he's drawing the line at what's illegal, even though I think stuff is being done behind his back. But so that's good for freedom of speech, right?
Okay. But what is his goal with X now? His X is to make like it is in China, where that app does all your money and all of everything comes through this thing. So again, that's another aspect of control that he would have over people's lives.
Right.
So, it's another thing on its own. Maybe not too bad, but put it together.
But so it is the argument you're making all centralization is nefarious?
But based on what I see out there, I don't want these people controlling any aspect of my life because they're all the worst. I don't trust him. Would you trust him with having your financial life in his hands?
Is all centralization bad for us?
I mean, I haven't put thought into this, but my initial reaction is yes.
Okay, like I have Capital One, and this and that, and it's like they're always like, shop through us. I'll do my shopping on my own.
Right.
You can process the payments and just kind of look at it, because when you get a processed payment for $400 from Home Depot, you don't know what it is really.
Right.
You just know you process, and I'm cool with you not knowing.
Right. I use cash everywhere in person just because they don't need to know what I'm buying.
Right. But I don't want anything. I don't want like my bank taking over any other area of my life.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a question for another episode. But he did do good stuff with Twitter, though.
It does seem like it's an improvement up to this point. Yes.
And he's got Twitter Spaces now, which is like an audio thing where a bunch of people can jump on.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, and then just the majority of people are just listening, and then eventually it's going to go to. He plans for it to go to video, but then it just automatically pops up the video of whoever's talking.
Oh, okay.
And there's a host, so the host would preempt somebody who's talking over them.
Okay, like a priority or something.
And
okay.
It could become a whole new thing. Yeah, I don't know. So basically, this is a big question mark.
Yeah.
It's not like fulfilling if you were looking for, he's a dirty bastard, or
Right.
he's an epic hero.
Right. It's just question marks. Yeah.
And I feel like the chance of him being a hero is very low.
Right. He's on the road to becoming that. The one that we make the villain video of.
Right. Yeah, he has the most potential of anybody.
Yeah.
Just anybody. More than Biden, more than Trump.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
How it is then.
Okay.
Really want to know what they have to say.
I totally agree with you. I was thinking about that. Like because people either really love Elon or they're just out on him.
Yeah, it's interesting how fervently people defend him.
Oh yeah, it's almost like a religious thing. Like if you're a Tesla person, Tesla's the greatest, and that's.
But if you're a Tesla person, Elon's the greatest.
Oh, that's fair too.
It's Elon,
our savior Elon.
It's a personality thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to hear your extreme opinions either way on this. Is it just too early? We really feel like it's too early to make a conclusion about him.
And if you want to ask a pastor whether or not he's the Antichrist, he's not. He does not come from the correct region of the planet. So
wait, what?
If he's the Antichrist?
If the pastor's Elon.
From a pastor, I have this information.
Oh.
Who's researched this, and because is he the Antichrist?
Oh.
Because he's doing so much stuff, the mark of the beast, the Neuralink, all this type of stuff.
Man. Okay.
The answer is no, because he doesn't come from I think it's the Carpathian Mountains.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The Antichrist will come from be born there.
Gotcha.
And so that's a no. Just before they comment.
Okay.
We're still going to get some.
There's a bonus.
I'll bet you.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us your thoughts. We'll see you next time.